Today's question is, what are my core values and how do they align with my spiritual beliefs? Well, I want to undercut this question a little bit. AI chat, I appreciate you proposing it, but I'm going to respond to you with a pretentious questioning the question. I don't like saying spiritual beliefs. I don't like that anymore. Because a belief is almost by definition something that, like, it's a stance that you have on something that you don't actually know. And I'm not interested in that. I will obviously still form those beliefs and stuff, but I don't like to call them my beliefs like they're cemented to me, because my beliefs are changing constantly. My whole world is constantly changing around me. From one day to the next. As I've said, the Verve Pipe said... Is it the Verve or the Verve Pipe? I can't remember. One of them did Bittersweet Symphony. One of them did The Freshman. But anyway, one of them said, I'm a million different people from one day to the next. And the world is a million different ways from one day to the next through my eyes. So I have such a hard time having concrete, solid beliefs about things. But I think all of my biggest values align with my spiritual pursuit, for sure. I'll say, not instead of beliefs, just my spiritual pursuit. I did a Strengths Finder test from that great book, and I found that my biggest strength is ideation. The pursuit and coming up with ideas. The desire for more ideas, basically, is what that is. And I think that that is absolutely in line with spirituality. The desire to learn more. Just the desire to know more. And not know more as in I read a book and I got it inside of me. You know, I got it lodged in my brain now. That's fine. That's wonderful. I do like that kind of ideation as well. I probably do it even more than, any sort of spiritual ideation I could come up with. It's more through spiritual practice of meditation and contemplation and something I talked about in a video called Brick by Brick that I still don't want to name exactly. Just fundamental insights that just reach so far down, and when I find them, they're as real as me saying that I breathe. I think ideation is absolutely in line with spiritual pursuit. Similar to ideation, but not totally the same as creativity. I mean, just making things. I love to make things. I feel like a day has been completely wasted if I did not make something in some capacity, even if it's not good and not something I will ever show to anybody and not part of some larger project. I'm always making something somehow, even if it's a video or if it's just my little scribbles of journaling or doing a little doodle on my, I just love making things. I think creativity, like if ideation is my biggest strength, I think it's because creativity is my biggest value in life. I almost value creativity more than anything moralistic or things that make you a good person. Those are great. They're probably near the top of the list, some of those. But creativity owns all. Making something out of nothing. The fact that we even have the ability to do that is something I have so overlooked throughout so much of my life, and I'm not always in touch with how powerful and beautiful that is. But it's so amazing that that there gets to be something that we made. It's like, and I feel like that aligns with spirituality. Creativity aligns with spirituality because the fact that there even gets to be stuff at all out here is really cool. And again, it's one of those things that we're not always capable of marveling at when we're stuck in our little egoic materialistic state. It's something that I don't know. I was going to talk about how I don't think other people generally feel about it, but I mean, I can't read minds. But yeah, the fact that there is something instead of nothing, and that did it come from somewhere? The fact, retracing the steps of where something came from is so cool. Similarly, where did the idea to make any of these videos come from? I mean, they came from my brain, I guess, but where did that come from to start with? Where do thoughts come from? The thought that says I should make something, where does that even come from? That's created in itself. There's a perpetual loop of creativity where things are being made, and that thing is making more, and it's like almost self-reproducing. I think creativity is my little way of being God. And I don't say that in like and it's something that is not personal to me. I don't say that in a self-aggrandizing way. I think anybody making anything is their own little way of being God. And people who practice and rejoice and bask in it and are willing to suffer for it too. My goodness, I think creative people might suffer more than anybody else on the planet. But of course, I don't know. But it's the stuff that you're willing to suffer the most for that means the most to you. And creativity, like spirituality, is a lifelong path that produces just immeasurable suffering. Unbelievable. Like you have no idea what you're up against when you start taking this pursuit. And also has the moments of the greatest bliss that I think anybody could ever experience.